Scott Mills took to social media after BBC Radio 2 listeners shared their dismay over Ken Bruce's exit. Legendary radio presenter Ken Bruce, 71, announced on his show that he would be leaving BBC Radio 2 after 31 years of hosting its weekday mid-morning show. Listeners have speculated who could potentially replace the stalwart presenter, with some suggesting Scott Mills, but a replacement is yet to be confirmed. The 49-year-old left Radio 1 in August to switch over to Radio 2 and take over Steve Wright's early afternoon slot. Steve, who spent 23 years at the radio station, announced he would be stepping down from daytime radio in September when Scott announced he'd be taking over. Ken has since followed suit and announced he will now join rival station Greatest Hits Radio. "I have decided the time is right for me to move on from Radio 2. He said, adding he'd had a tremendously happy time, but it was time for a change. Other popular presenters who have also left the station in the past year include Paul Agradi and Vanessa Feltz. Following Ken's announcement, Scott has since spoken out after he received some backlash online. Taking to Twitter, the broadcaster responded to fan of the Scott Mills show who hit back at the critics. Paula tweeted, at Scott_Mills, for what it's worth, we're within a week of each other age-wise. I've listened to at BBC Radio 2 for a couple of decades now, and your show is an absolute breath of fresh air. Ignore the old farts who forget that they, and their favorites, were all in their 40s way back when. Scott replied, in view of his 1.2 million followers, writing, very kind message Paula. Thank you X. Others agreed, with Rachel saying, I love your show. We're the same age too and I've been an avid R2 listener for the last 16 years. I've enjoyed the presenter changes over the years. I will miss Ken, but because I listen on Catch Up, can catch him no matter where he is. I wish your show was longer though. Hamlet tweeted, yeah, I'd agree with Paula. Your show is a must-listen for me, and I loved Steve too. Lindsay added, I love you too Scott. Ignore the haters. Being in my 40s, Radio 1 is not my cup of tea anymore and the old Radio 2 was too old fogey for me. Now, Radio 2 is my new Radio 1, so thank you for being there. Listen to you for bloody decades.